in Chablis, you guys are dealing with the fact that weather fluctuates, whereas some other wine-making areas.
But you know, it's not only in Chablis; it's everywhere on the world. You know, the weather affect everything. You know, look, last year in December, when November, probably I didn't remember the date exactly, but when you have big storm in New York, the storm kill everything.
Yeah.
We cannot control the weather, and it's good because if everybody can control the weather, people say me I want some sun at this time. People say no, I want to rain at this time. So.
But you, what I'm saying, I guess what I'm going is you accept the change in the weather, and the wine changes with it. And there are some winemaking methodologies where they try to make the same wine every year.
No,
at least
you must work with the weather.
You have a global warming, yes, we all agree, but after that it's a question of timing for your harvest.
Right.
You know, let's say if you have a very hot summer, well, beginning of August, you start taking samples from each vineyard, each parcel. You press them, you analyze them, you're doing the alcohol degree, the acidity, and after that, well, it's your own judgment. When you feel, you know, okay, you have enough alcohol, the acidity is not moving, you have a well balance, there you start. So if you said, oh, okay, 15 years ago we used to harvest beginning of October, of course, you will have an over-maturation, so you must follow each parcel. And if you have a parcel which is 45, 50 years old, well, you will harvest probably earlier than a 10 years old parcel, because you have more concentration with the whole vine. So it's a question of really checking and looking at your own parcel, not the neighbor. Doesn't matter what the neighbor does.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when he's harvesting.
Nothing to do. Yeah, he doesn't know your vineyard and you don't know this vineyard. That's very important.
Yeah, so that answers a question I was going to ask about global warming. If people accept it, you know, what that affects, but it's you just do what you've always done.
Yeah.
Be responsive to.
Well, let's say in the last 10 years we harvest nearly 10 to 12 days before what we used to. Before it used to be really the end of September, beginning of October. Now it's closer to September 16 or 20.
Yes. Yeah. But after also, don't forget, it's not because we harvest early, like Christian said. Because also the blossom it's early because now before we have blossom, for example, in June, and now the blossom is probably at the end of May, and after you check the grapes, you check everything, and like that you must harvest at the good time. It's also to keep the balance between acidity, the sugar, the alcohol. It's keep the balance for the wine. This is important for sure.
So how about, it must be getting close to bud break.
No.
No,
we had some cold weather, and actually the weather forecast changed. In the next few days we might have snow and -Celsius.
Oh,
it's perfect.
So it'll keep slow things down.
That's good for us,
Yeah.
you know, because certain year, okay, beginning of April the buds start to come out, and you have -2 or 3, and boom.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
Frost.
We had this up northern Vermont in our vineyards this year. The frost came in late April, and when shoots were out about this far, and lost.
So
some people lost.
Yeah, you will see picture the way we protect the vineyard.
Yeah, maybe it's coming. I need to find one. Look, this. So because we have two. Yes. First one.
Spots.
Yes, it's one you burn some big candle for protect the vineyard, and also it's when we spray water for protect the buds. Also, because when the bud is inside the ice, it stays at 0.
It's insulated.
It stays at 32 degrees for you because you speak Fahrenheit. And last year, during the night of 16 and 17 April, we have -6 in Chablis.
Really?
See, my boss, my son.
Your son?
See,
he doesn't look happy.
He's all black. Good night, eh? Well, last year we had -3, -4 starting around midnight. So at that time we also lost some buds.
Yeah. But this happens.
It's the weather, you know. It will happen again this year, maybe, or the next year. Global warming is there, but frost is still around. You know.
Yeah.
But so that when we speak, it's like Christian said, global warming. if the buds begin to grow early, the night in Chablis stay very cold on the beginning of April or middle of April. It's very cold on the night. So so that Chablis is very particular with this because we can lose during one night you can lose everything.
Yeah. So the weather is something you can't do anything about except respond to it.
Try to.
One of the other questions I have, since this is something you can do something about, is, and I'll start by apologizing because American wine history has not necessarily been very kind to Chablis, in the sense that when Chablis was coming out of its rough period after the wars and working towards building up again, that's
the
when
jug wine.
the jug wine. I mean, and I know from when I was young and in college, that's what my first inclination was. But you know, I think there are a number of people that still think that. But people who understand wine and are interested,
they know what they're buying.
Exactly, who are looking for wines with acidity and minerality, know what Chablis is. But there's still a portion. Do you see things changing?
Yeah, it's fading away already the last 10 years. You know, because there is more knowledge. People, the press is talking about Chablis, where Chablis should be, and when they buy a bottle of Chablis, they're not going to pay $5 for a jug. 5 liters, you know, they will start paying between $18 and $25 for a regular Chablis. So people are starting to be more educated because we're moving, because the press specialists about the wine are talking about Chablis. So yeah, it's a big improvement. Big improvement.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not saying that in the Middle West, in the middle of nowhere, you don't find any jug wine, but I mean, you can travel on Park Avenue or Madison, the wine shop, you don't see too many jug wine of Chablis. You will see the real Chablis.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
And I know Pascaline here at Mouche-Tomat, she's a fan of Chablis, so she uses it a lot.
No, but really it's...
like Christian said, when you're on the big city, on the East Coast, on the West Coast, and also because, for the business, even for Chablis or from other wine from Europe, from Burgundy and even for Italy wine, for Spain wine, the big market for all the wine, it's 10 states in USA. It's not everywhere. Like Christian said, around the middle of the West, people drink maybe bad wine or beer, or but when you're on the East Coast and West Coast and near the big lake, Chicago, Michigan, Illinois, people know about Chablis because the winemaker from Chablis move, and because also the people like you speak about where Chablis, the true Chablis, the early Chablis is from France. It's making France by French winemaker. It's not people from California make shit wine with 1 gallon for 5 years, for $5. No.
Yes, which might not even be Chardonnay in the jug.
See, I'm going to show you the picture.
Pink Chablis.
So I'll show you the picture I put on Facebook a few days ago.
So it's for that. So now it's if every people make his job, if every people make his job, and now also because from what I think it's 2012, now people from California can sell, so make not the true Chablis.
Oh yes. Yes, it's only the grandfather.
Yeah,
people that are doing it.
And now it can sell only in USA. It's forbidden to sell in Canada, in Japan, everywhere. So now you can find only in here. Yeah.
It's not from Chablis. It's not.
Yeah.
J'ai mis ça l'autre jour, vous avez on Facebook,
that's a good
doesn't response for that.
That's a good wine geek t-shirt.
Yeah, really, that's, but it's, like I said, it's fading away.
Yeah.
You still have some, but...
I wonder if it has
because the young generation like you who enjoy wine, well, they read about wine, they read about Burgundy, they read about, wine from all over the world, so they start, and they belong to wine club also. So in the US you have a lot of wine clubs also now, like you have in France. So people get educated, by sommelier, by people like us, if we do come, and explain exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, I think it may have something to do with food culture in the United States is getting more and more evolved and getting better, and so people are focusing on trying to find wines that present well with meals. And so my understanding and what I've tasted of Chablis has made me very happy, because my personal tastes are for Chardonnay that I've been exposed to previously were not for me so much, the California Chardonnay style. Sorry, California, but that's the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, it's funny, my first exposure to Chablis, probably 10 years ago, 9 years ago, was not even Chardonnay, it was the Sauvignon Saint-Brie. It was Jean-Marc Rocard, it was Rocard's Saint-Brie. And so I looked and said, what is this? So I read about it and I said, oh, this is Sauvignon Blanc, this isn't even really Chablis, you know.
Well, that's
and then that's
one
what
of
I started trying.
that's the only region in Burgundy where you have some
Sauvignon Blanc, yeah.
Yeah, because if you look, because we didn't speak a little bit, we speak about the story, we speak about the soil, and it's normal, but if you speak now a little bit about this wine, so like you said, so Jean-Marc Rocard, so it's from Prairie, and just near Prairie. So